तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति।
Chapter 2, verses 56 to 65.
सुखेषु विगतस्पृहः वीतरागभयक्रोधः स्थितधीर्मुनिरुच्यते यस्सर्वत्राणविस्नेहः तत्तत्राप्य शुभाशुभम् नाभिनन्दति न द्वेष्टि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता। यदा संहरते चायम् कूर्मोऽङ्गानीव सर्वशः इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियार्थेभ्यः तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता। विषया विनिवर्तन्ते निराहारस्य देहिनः रसवर्जं रसोऽप्यस्य परं दृष्ट्वा निवर्तते। यततो ह्यपि कौन्तेय पुरुषस्य विपश्चितः इन्द्रियाणि प्रमाथीनि हरन्ति प्रसवं मनः। तानि सर्वाणि संयम्य युक्त आसीत मत्परः। वशे हि यस्येन्द्रियाणि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता। ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसः सङ्गस्तेषुपजायते। सङ्गात् सञ्जायते कामः कामात् क्रोधोऽभिजायते। क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहः सम्मोहात् स्मृतिविभ्रमः। स्मृतिभ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशः बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति। रागद्वेषवियुक्तैस्तु विषयानिन्द्रियैश्चरन् आत्मवश्यैर्विधेयात्मा प्रसादमधिगच्छति। प्रसादे सर्वदुःखानां हानिरस्योपजायते। प्रसन्नचेतसो ह्याशु बुद्धिः पर्यवतिष्ठते।
The automatic withdrawal at the sign of danger is the protection. Under normal circumstances, the tendency of the senses is to chase the objects, is to follow the objects. That's a natural tendency. Natural tendency doesn't mean it is the right thing to do. It's natural to get angry. Doesn't mean anger is correct. Just because we use the word it's natural doesn't make it Doesn't make it any right. Just as to get angry is natural, no sir, no? Still you have to conquer anger only. Similarly, the nature of the senses is to chase the respective objects. That chase is the beginning, the starting point of extroversion is the senses going towards the world. So the wise one has understood what is the danger. Extroversion is the danger. And what is the starting point of extroversion? The senses running behind the world. When the senses are running behind the world, it looks natural. It doesn't look that harmful at all. As a result of which, introversion gains some, extroversion gains some authenticity. Extroversion looks as the right way of living. So, what is the wise one? What is the wise one doing? The wise one withdraws at any sign of extroversion. He quickly withdraws. Extroversion means senses running towards the sense objects. A person who is aware of not to get extroverted remains the master of any situation and environment. Because he is aware of he should not get extroverted. A person who is aware of the danger of extroversion remains the master. For any danger he quickly withdraws. That's the kurma. That's the tortoise. The danger of extroversion is not experienced by the senses but has to be understood through knowledge. Number 2, even your own, every individual's sense experiences themselves teach that to be extrovert is futile. But you can't learn through experience. And people believe experience is the best teacher. You learn only through, actually you don't learn anything through experience. Or if people can learn through experience, we all have had enough experiences. And these experiences have not made anyone any wiser. Therefore, experience actually doesn't teach anything. So it is the knowledge. So the senses tendency is to run behind the sense objects. That is the starting point of extroversion. And danger lies in allowing oneself to continue to be extroverted. So he quickly withdraws. When we say he quickly withdraws, for all practical purposes he has mastered it. Yogaratova, Bhogaratova is his original state. He can be in yoga, he can be in bhoga. It is not going to touch him at all. It is not going to affect him at all. But he is not talking about that state of enlightenment so much. He is giving a path. He is giving a path. What is the path? From extroversion to introversion. Now, the senses running towards the world, by itself it gets, the very process of the senses running towards the world itself, the senses will get bored, the senses will get frustrated, the senses will get neutralized. But that experience doesn't trigger any thinking. That experience convinces the ignorant person that it is not in this object, go to the next object. It doesn't trigger any thinking, it doesn't trigger any conviction saying this is what has been happening all along. How is it not going to change? By going to the next. Here the combination of the senses and the mind will not allow you to think. Okay, you made a mistake, so what? Go to the, at least be careful in the next, at least be wise in choosing the next one properly. But one thing you should not do is what? Do not turn introvert. So the natural thing is to go outside. So what he says is, follow a practice like the tortoise. The beauty of the tortoise is it symbolizes withdrawal. The protection the tortoise talks about is it withdraws and goes into something. Follow? That's why this kurma is such a wonderful example. For it suggests two things. It withdraws and goes under the protection of something. Otherwise, any creature when encountered with danger, it will do the same thing. Why only kurma? It will run away. In any sense of everything, all other creature runs away. There is no withdrawal. Kurma is the example of when there is a danger, you quickly withdraw. Withdrawing from extroversion and going into the protection of knowledge. That person who can do that remains unaffected. He remains the master of any situation he encounters. He remains the master of every environment that he is in. Opposite of mastery is slavery. Slavery means yielding to the temptation. What is slavery? You give up something that is valuable for something that is of less value. Freedom is of utmost value. That person is ready to give up the freedom for something that is lower in nature. So, what is slavery? Slavery is a compromise between sacrificing the higher for the lower. What is the higher? You can remain a master over the sense objects and contact the sense objects. You can contact the sense objects as a slave to that sense object. You can contact wealth as a master of wealth. You can contact wealth as slave to wealth. You can enter into relationship as a master. You can enter into relationship as a slave. Anywhere. So that extroversion is the slavery part. The introversion is the mastery part. So the kurma is an example of withdrawal. You need to withdraw. When you withdraw, under the protection of knowledge, you have to withdraw. It's not just withdrawal. If it is just withdrawal, it is frustration. If it is only withdrawal, it is frustration. Only knowledge minus withdrawal will make you a very intelligent person, will be a very good parent, that's about all. But there is no withdrawal without knowledge, knowledge without withdrawal, both doesn't help. So kurma is a combination of both, withdrawal and under the protection of knowledge. The wise one contacts the world like this, he says. Even though for all practical purposes he has conquered it, there is no danger at all for him. For the seed of danger, ignorance, he has conquered. In the case of ordinary man, the seed is still there. So any environment or any conducive environment, the seed will manifest. In the case of an enlightened person, there is no seed at all. So what is he going to run away from? Under what is he going to take protection? But the way he lives is an example for others to follow. How does he live? He quickly takes shelter under the protection of knowledge. Knowledge means what is your intellect attuned to. That's all knowledge. What is knowledge? What your intellect is attuned to. You can be very scholarly, you can be very philosophical in lecturing, but intellect is still convinced that world is more important. You follow? Knowledge means what the intellect is attuned to. Whatsoever the intellect is attuned to, that's what the mind, the senses will follow. Again I repeat, whatsoever the intellect is attuned to, the intellect attuned to means conviction. Whatsoever your conviction is, that's what the mind, the senses follows. That's why knowledge is that which deals with the intellect and it changes the conviction from the world to the self, from the world to God. You follow? What does knowledge means? To what your intellect is attuned to. Intellect, to what your intellect is attuned to means where lies your conviction. Where lies your conviction? If the conviction lies in acquisition, the person will change from acquiring one to the other, but acquisition as such will not change. One man will acquire wealth, another man will acquire emotions, relationships, another man will go on acquiring more and more knowledge. Doesn't matter what he is acquiring, but down the line his conviction is upon acquisition. From that, the conviction changes to withdrawal. Withdrawal from what? Withdrawal from acquisition. Withdrawal from the conviction behind acquisition. You follow? That's where you find every human being, if not all, most are only acquiring. What they acquire will differ from person to person, but nevertheless they have to acquire. Acquire means numbers. Acquisition is always related to the numbers. The tragedy of numbers is this. How much ever you have, it will make you feel you are zero. The tragedy of acquisition, the tragedy of numbers is, how much ever that person has, others will say, Abba, avarku avlo irukudhe. But ask that man, he feels he is zero. He has nothing. That's why the acquisition goes on continuing. At the most, what he will acquire will shift. Previously, if he was acquiring wealth, now he will acquire something else. Like that day, one couple was saying, 3 days tour, sir, 50 temples we went. One temple Portuguese takes one janma. In 3 days they conquer 50 temples. Acquisition. It can be wealth or it can be this. But down the line it is only acquisition. Or it might not be acquisition in relation to wealth or this. Or it might be acquiring more and more knowledge. But down the line, acquisition is what? That drives the action. For conviction lies in acquisition. Acquire, but good things you acquire. Bad things we should leave, no sir. But good things we should acquire, no. For the highest, the best, the noblest, which is the divinity, which is the self, which is God, you are that already. So fundamentally they break that acquisition spirit. Otherwise you come here and continue with the same spirit of acquiring. Carefully follow. The first stage in life you prepare for acquisition. The second stage is what the actual acquisition is. The third stage is preparing what you have acquired. Happiness comes at the... Are you able to follow? First stage in life is preparing for acquisition. Clear? Ippalam umble you have to start. Umble you have to start means there are these very big schools where you have to go and register. Conception layer. When you have conceived only you have to. Now you don't know whether the child is going to come or not, boy or girl you don't know, but you have to go and register in a. So what is that for? So a very good portion of life is spent on preparing for acquisition. Divide life into stages, it becomes easy. How acquisition is so convincing it is. Now, if you have to do it from the womb itself now, how much more, how convinced you are about? அப்படி இருந்தா பண்ணிடுங்க. நீங்க சொன்னேன்னு விட்டேன் சார், இப்போ அட்மிஷன் கிடைக்கல ஸ்கூல்ல. We don't know anyone in any school to get admission. Go and register now only. A time will come where even the grandfather has to, because if you work backwards, there can be a time there where there can be so much of waiting list that you have to register 2 generations in. You follow? What is it for? A preparation for acquisition. There is absolutely no joy at all when you are preparing yourself for acquisition. There is absolutely no joy. No child will get up and say, I am late to school. One sock is missing. As the child is entering the bus, you have to stuff. Clear? Neat class lo bota innum jasti da. More problem da. You follow? So, a preparation for acquisition. Okay? So you do something and somehow you get yourself prepared for acquisition. Then comes the actual act of acquisition. That is more traumatic. That is. Yeah. You have to satisfy the person who is interviewing you. You have to convince him that you are qualified. Not only you have to convince him, you have to put up with all the people around, and invariably bosses are always either hysterical or lunatic. Boss either they become hysterical or they become lunatic. You have to put up with all that. No joy in acquiring. Preserving what you have acquired is traumatic it is. Suddenly you will find predators all over everywhere, waiting to pounce. Yeah. That's why you have to build a house and put one drishti also in front. For predators around, they will come and what they will do? All this is done for what? To part with what you have acquired to buy happiness. All this pain is for what? To part with what you have acquired so that you can gain happiness. At this point of time, the hopes are swelled. The hope for happiness is swelled. That's why anything you buy, you feel cheated. Why? The hope is more and what you actually get is less. Actually, it's not what you get is actually less. That's what it can give. But your hopes have gone so much that whatsoever you acquire, you end up feeling disappointment. You end up feeling disappointed. You end up feeling disturbed. For what? Happiness is in acquiring. For happiness lies in acquiring. Isavasya Upanishad says, happiness lies in tena tyaktena bunjitam. For happiness lies in renunciation. Renouncing what? Renouncing the extroverted nature and turning introverted. Renouncing the useless and taking the useful. Renouncing the glass pieces and taking the Kohinoor diamond. Happiness, for that you need knowledge. For the senses believes the glass pieces as diamond. And when diamond is there, it will not see. The Upanishad gives example of mistaking the shells for silver. In the moonlight, go to the sea, go to the seashore, there are empty shells. It glitters. From one angle it's shining, it's glittering. It's mistaken for silver. And silver doesn't exist. Silver will not lie like that. The fact that it is lying like that means it's not silver. Knowledge comes and says, don't chase that. Don't go and touch it. Don't go and take it. For silver cannot lie like that. You follow? That's where lies your conviction. What is intellect means? What is your intellect attuned to? That is knowledge. If intellect is attuned to acquisition, wherever you go, you will be only acquiring. That's why the person who has not changed fundamentally, come into this religious field, he will also continue acquiring only. Like he keeps on saying, no, more ashrams, more followers, but down the line, acquisition has to continue. Now comes the tragedy. We discover words to justify it. We use words that will color it. We use words that will justify it. We will not call it acquisition, we will call it growth. We won't call it acquisition. We will use the word growth. Everyone should grow, no sir. Growth means acquire more. Where is the doubt? For no one will stand back and ask, what is? You follow? For no one is going to stand back and ask, what is growth? We all must grow in life. No. The answer is yes. What is growth? Acquire more. Of course that is growth. Where is the doubt? And then they will come and ask, why is life like this? Why is everyone around like this? Or why am I suffering like this? The only answer is extroversion. Extroversion means acquisition. Introversion means withdrawal from acquisition. That's all. It is withdrawal from acquisition. When you are withdrawing from acquisition, to that extent your energies are conserved. To that extent your alertness increases. To that extent your awareness increases. As a result of which you are available for deeper reflection. You follow? When there is a withdrawal, your alertness is more. Your energies are more conserved. You are available for a deeper reflection. He functions like the tortoise, he says, like a kurma. Kurma is withdrawal. First thing it indicates is withdrawal. Second thing is under the protection of knowledge. He has become wise because he practiced it in the past. He is not saying what he is doing now. He is saying what he did, as a result of which he has become wise now. What he did, like a tortoise. Why this tortoise is because from now on the entire discussion is, it gives the indication of withdrawal, the senses, and changes the whole direction of discussion into senses, sense control. He is just giving this verse is the turning point of the discussion from the description of an enlightened man to sense control and sense control. He just gave a simple example, kurma, and took the entire discussion. You follow? Like the kurma, he says. Yes.
I don't understand because when you say withdrawal at various stages, yes, you can understand the material withdrawal.
Yes.
But to some extent, then you also said no, but certain things you have to do, like you have to get the things for the time, you still have to do.
Correct.
Then somewhere the attitude something, but withdrawal, what is it like? Then you're coming to the class, you come for the knowledge, you're trying to teach in the classes. But then you're saying that is also attitude. So just for myself also, am I going right? I need more.
The question that she is asking is, correcta sollungo. Actually, that's not the question. Are you clear on what you are saying? Yeah, acquisition, you say, no, go for admission. Should I go for admission or? That's not what she is saying. The question is, knowledge is always going hot and cold. You talk about withdrawal. Why do this? Even you come to, then you say as a solution, come to knowledge, come to the class, and you come and sit here, you say this is also kind of acquisition. Now where does one start? Where does one lead oneself to? It's a fundamental problem of everyone. It's not only her problem. Only difference is she articulates it so well that you feel depressed sometimes. First thing about withdrawal is it's always starting from the senses. That's what I said last. When you withdraw even at the level of the senses, some amount of energy is conserved. That conserved energy is used for reflection. Thus the strength grows. So the starting point is always the sense withdrawal. Where comes the difficulty is, whenever we talk about sense withdrawal, we say attitude only matters. No sir. What difference does it make? He says, yeah, correct, attitude only matters. Attend to your attitude. Oh, attitude dana matters. For already I have the right. Attitude. Therefore, correction is not required. Correction is not required for me. Correction is always required for the others. Are you able to follow the track? The cyclical track, you follow? Whenever we talk about withdrawal, immediately we say it's only attitude. No. Like for example, take a simple example. charitable attitude is only important. No, sir. Supposing a person asks, is giving charity important or charitable attitude that is important? You say, charitable attitude is what is important. Correct. For now the conviction is I don't have to part with at all. I don't have to give at all. For all that is needed is the charitable attitude, and I have enough of it already. You follow? Now, how do I test myself? How do I check myself? He comes with a very practical point. Start sense withdrawal. If you want to know whether you have charitable attitude or not, start giving charity. That's an indication. You follow what I am saying? Are you able to follow the difference? How do I know whether I have charitable attitude or not? When you are sitting in the house, you feel everything is, you have all the right. Love is an attitude, no sir. Correct. It means I can do anything, I can say anything. For there is love already. You follow? What is the starting point? Withdraw. Withdrawal means, what does withdrawal means? From the senses. What does withdrawing the senses means? The natural tendency is to go out. Natural tendency is to go out. Withdraw. When you withdraw, carefully follow now. When you withdraw, you don't withdraw according to your likes and dislikes. That's why they said, a simple example. Now, you have to fast also. Now, you can't fast in the day that you like. So, what they did, Ekadesi is the day you fast, they said. People come back and say, that's all superstition, that's all mechanical. I will fast the day that I want. You can't talk after that. You have to say, go back, gain knowledge, know what mind is, know what intellect is. You follow? Withdrawal. Now, withdrawal can't happen according to your whims and fancies, your likes and dislikes. That is under the knowledge. So, withdrawal under a discipline. A disciplined withdrawal. Are you able to follow? That's why I am giving this example. See, you eat. That eating itself will drive you to fasting, which is not control. Which is not control at all. For your eating itself will lead you to fasting. You are sleeping. That sleepiness itself will make you to wake up. You are waking up. That itself will lead you to sleep. That is not sense control. What is withdrawal? What is withdrawal? Okay, one night I will not sleep. Howsoever sleepy I feel. Follow what I am saying? This is what is meant as withdrawal. I am just giving examples which we are already aware of in a very limited way. You follow? What is withdrawal? Withdrawal is a systematic regulation of likes and dislikes. Disciplined regulation. Not according to your, today I get up in the morning, the indigestion that I am experiencing, I will not know that I am experiencing indigestion. That itself will make me say, don't eat today. I go back saying, I am fasting today. Actually you are not fasting, you are only experiencing indigestion because of yesterday's indulgence. You follow? The indulgence will lead to withdrawal. The withdrawal itself leads to another round of indulgence. You follow? This is misunderstood as this alternating between rounds of indulgence and rounds of withdrawal. No, it's exactly like that boxing ring. They will box for, in the boxing ring, they will box for 3 minutes. That's all. And then they will go for a period of rest. Come back and till you get knocked out. Yeah. Very good boxer, Mike Tyson. You can knock that fellow off in the first round itself. Yeah. In 1988, that boxing. Appo, I used to follow boxing Allah. You can't believe that I followed boxing and all. No. I used to follow boxing Allah. So much I used to have. Like, there was a match between Tyson and Spinks. If you remember, there was a boxer called Spinks also. Even before people can take their seat, match got over. One punch he gave, that fellow, he was going dizzy. The referee is asking, are you alright? He says, yeah, I am alright, and he stands and he falls. He is not alright. That punch. 60 seconds. First round leader. See, people, you pay so much to sit and watch them hitting each other like that. Even before you go and sit, even before you find out where your seat is. Match is you follow? Indulgence and withdrawal is like that. You get boxed, take rest, come back, get boxed, come back, take rest, boxed. You follow? That is not withdrawal. Withdrawal is a systematic regulation of likes and dislikes. Since you cannot determine by yourself, someone determines it for you. That is the Shastras. Tasmat Shastram Pramanam Te. The Shastras determine. The ego will turn back and say, who are they? I will do it by myself. Ideally, you should do it by yourself only. But right now, if you do it by yourself, what you will end up doing? Likes and dislikes. You follow? What is the starting point? Withdrawal. Basic functions like eating and sleeping. That itself looks like a very big discipline. Yeah. That itself looks like a very big task, very big discipline. Then comes that energy can be used for reflection. Otherwise, on the one hand, there is acquisition of information. On the other hand, indulgence. On the one hand, there is acquisition of information. On the other hand, there is indulgence. In the sense, see, anyone who continuously comes to classes for 6 months, 6 months is enough. That is the maximum time. You can give a 1-hour discourse. CC, non-stop you can talk for an hour. And others also will think, oh my God, this person knows so much also. You follow what I am saying? On the one hand, there will be an acquisition of information. On the other hand, there is indulgence. You follow? Where does one start? Withdrawal. You always start from that which is comparatively easier. Don't straight away jump to the highest. The ego will say go to the highest straight away and you will fail. And then it will turn back and convince you, what? It's not for you, leave it. See, I told you, class la solranganla, you get summa avanga soltaanga, you get so impressed, you do that. Now you understand, you are not for all this. Now what are you fit for? Indulgence. Go back and previously there was some guilty behind indulgence, and now you will be Now you will be convinced about indulgence. Because with awareness you are indulging now, no? You follow? Where does one start? Withdrawal. 1. Number 2. The purpose of knowledge is to step it up all the time. The purpose of knowledge is to keep stepping it up. That's why whosoever comes in contact with the knowledge always says, much more has to be attained. So don't be satisfied. You follow? Is it okay? Start with the withdrawal. But then the tragedy, the difficulty is when we talk about action, we talk about attitude. When we talk about attitude, we immediately jump into charitable attitude is what is important. No, correct. For it is true that a person who has this charitable attitude cannot acquire. Acquisition will stop. It's not that you will give what you have. First of all, why even acquire? Acquisition itself will, the conviction from acquisition itself shifts. So, ideally what is important? Charitable attitude is what the ideal is. But how do you develop that charitable attitude? By giving charity. How do you reach to the state of objectivity? By practicing objectivity. For, I have given this example many a times before, follow the same thing. Life is this paradox. Life is like that. Now, nothing can be done about it. As it is, we are all born in this life, so we need to live by the rules. What is it? Learn this. To enter into water, you need to know swimming. And swimming can be learnt only in water. That's the paradox of life. I can read all the books on swimming, PhD in swimming, and sitting on the banks only and looking at the water. Nothing will happen. If you want to know this properly, ask R.K. sir. Correct? Ask him. He is an expert in that. You follow? Cycling can be learnt only by, you can't do something else and then go and sit on the cycle and start. Correct? When you go to learn a language, they will start teaching conversations first. If you have learnt, if you have gone to learn any language, they will not start with ABCD first. Looks like so absurd. For to have a conversation, you need to know the ABCD. But ABCD comes at the third session only, third class only. What they will start with? Conversations. Yeah, Sanskrit first lesson. I am Gajaha. Yeah. Correct? Innu point irukella. First lesson they teach. I am Gajaha. I am Gajaha. I am Gajaha illa. This is elephant. I am not English. English I am illa. Other people think I am Gajaha. Correct sir, you are an elephant. This is an elephant. You follow? The paradox of life is that. To enter into water, you need to know swimming, but swimming can be learned only in water. Charitable attitude is what is there now. By what will you get it? By what will you get it? Shankar? By giving charity. For every giving tears you apart from inside. Every giving is so painful inside, tears you apart from inside. Immediately the mind will say, it's only attitude. No. You follow what I am saying? Are you able to understand? I am leaving 2-3 steps in between. You have to fill it up. Swimming, to know, to enter water, you need to know swimming. But swimming can be learned only in water. To learn the language, conversation, they start with, I always used, why conversation first? Songs will come first. In the German class where I went to study German, first thing they teach is songs. So nothing is, no, get used to then the alphabet becomes sensible. Straight you go a, e, u, na. Third day you will stop learning that. You follow what I am saying? Even though dictionary says the starting point of language is a, e, u, when you go to learn a language, they start with. You follow what I am saying? For the paradox of life is this: the attitude can be developed only by practicing it. When you are practicing it, carefully follow. There will be a mechanical thing in it. Don't worry, even if it is mechanical, continue. Just as when the child goes to school, it is mechanical only in the beginning. From the standpoint of the child, you cannot wait for the child to grow in understanding about the importance of education and then put the child to school. You can wait, but what will happen? In Vedanta treatise, that's what he says. Cart before the horse. You will wait for understanding, but where you will end up? Cart before the horse kind of a situation. You follow what I am saying? So when you are actually practicing it, number one, there is an element of mechanical thing in it. You can't avoid that. You have to do it. One. Number two, there will be a mistake there will be a mistake here, there will be a fall there will be a fall here. Account for that also. When I joined the academy, I didn't even know cycling properly. Even cycle will not properly. So he said, learn driving, car driving. I said okay. So one day, we do all that only when he is not there. No, when he is there, tails are all tucked inside and we all put on the best front. So he left. Said, okay, start the car. The fellow who is teaching me next to me, he said, teach him. He said, okay. Started. Started the car. He said, start. Press the accelerator. Press to the accelerator. One big sound. Back of the car is smashed completely. See that lemon tree. There used to be a lemon tree. Now that has turned into a car park. Previously there used to be a huge lemon tree there. Pressed the accelerator, went and hit the whole thing got smashed. He is looking at me, I am looking at him. We'll pack our bags and leave now. And those were the days where not that we were starving or suffering or anything, that visible material opulence wasn't there. So, it's like, oh my God. So, somehow we got it fixed, set, and who has the courage to get into that car? At least I didn't have the courage. Didn't go in at all. So 3 weeks later he came from the tour. First lesson. டிரைவிங் எப்படி போயிட்டு இருக்குது? எங்க டிரைவிங்? நோ சுவாமி, டிரைவிங் எங்க டிரைவிங்லாம் போறது? திஸ் has happened. When I gave the car keys to you, I wrote the car off, he said. When I gave the car keys to you, I wrote that for it will happen. You follow what I am saying? Now, you can't be a perfect learning. You can't be a perfect learner, no. When you are in the process of learning, there will be something mechanical, number one. Number two, there will be a fall there will be a fall here. You need to account for all that and continue the practice. You follow? You can't be a perfect. If you can be a perfect learner, now you have become a master already. He said, you know why, what made you to press the accelerator so much? No, Swamiji. The handbrakes was on. The handbrakes was on. And that fellow also didn't say there is a thing called handbrake. I didn't even know that there is a thing called handbrake at all in the first place. Now he is saying press. Where to press? You press it. I press full throttle. Pressed it. Few feet it came. That's all. Just 10 feet. The whole thing got smashed. We pushed the car back to its place. 3 days we didn't even go that side. Acting that didn't pretending it didn't happen at all. You follow what I am saying? But the ego is so. He said, what stopped you from? Why I am saying all that is because I learnt it from that. He said, what stopped you from taking the car again is your ego. He said, it's your ego that has stopped you from taking the car again. And don't think you are being very charitable to the institution. Don't think you are doing this. Don't think you are doing that. What all we thought that we are doing good. He demolished. He demolished all that. And finally he said, it's all because of your ego. I liked it the most. When I gave the car keys, I wrote that car off. If it is still standing, it's a bonus. You follow? So when you practice anything, there will be an element of mechanical thing in it. There will be an element of a fall here, a fall there. But the ego says, it has to happen perfectly. You can become a perfect, intelligent person. That's all. And that intelligence will not be of any, like the swimmer who knows everything about, he has done all the knows the dynamics of water, the pressure of water, the technique of swimming, backstroke, front stroke, butterfly stroke, this stroke, that stroke, but not touched water at all. You follow? That is also possible, no? But then the logic is to get into water, know everything about swimming and then get into water. To know swimming, you have to get into water. Now carefully follow. Are you okay till now? Yes. Bharat. Yes. Correct. I don't fast. From eating, okay. Yes. Yes. Correct. Correct. You start with withdrawal from one sense. When you are withdrawing from one sense, with the knowledge, obviously, you will understand how the alertness to the other senses becomes more, and you will start indulging there. You are correct. You are correct. That's where you might stop eating. As a substitute, you will listen to something extra for 2 hours. In Tirupati, to stand in the queue, this, that, all, you take long time to see, to have darshan. There is another easy way to see God. What is that? Does anyone know that? There is another easy way. No queue, no nothing. You can just walk in royally and see. Let's say, don't say Narendra Modi oda ponunte. Don't say that. You need to do what is known as Anga Pradakshina. If you roll, you know that Anga Pradakshina, no? Now, that can be done only at what time? 3 o'clock. The proof that you are ready for that is you have to come. You have to come. How you have to come? Dripping wet. Then only you will be allowed to do that. You can't say, I had a bath in the evening, now I am ready. They will not. You have to come dripping wet. And the fellows who take bath at 2:30 in the morning in that tank, in high decibel sound they make. High decibel sound they make. You know what is happening? In that sound, the distraction from the cold to the sound. So the mind is such that senses and the mind is such a dangerous thing. It will shift the indulgence. You might be not eating, but you might be doing extra shravana that day. Extra shravana, do something else. Therefore, first thing is withdrawal from one sense will bring an alertness of how weak you are in relation to all the senses. That's why, as a practice, they say, when you are eating, you are not supposed to talk. Two things are achieved. One is, you can't say, I want more, I want less. You are not supposed to show signs also. Nor keep a pen and paper and start writing. Whatever is put on the plate, you eat. If you can talk now, you can say less salt, more salt, less karam, more karam. No. Nothing. Whatever is there. And that fellow, you like something. Supposing they make a very good jangri. And you like it. Since you are not supposed to talk, you can't even ask for more. Adukku front la vechi neengale poi eduthukonga. You follow what I am saying? Now, when you withdraw from one sense, the tendency of the other senses is to become more alert and make you indulge there. A blind person develops an extraordinary perception of hearing, for all the energies have gone there. So what ordinary person cannot hear, the seeing person, what that can't hear, a blind man can hear. What has happened? The senses function like that. So, you start from one sense, understand how you are a victim of all the senses, and practice withdrawal from all the senses. You follow? You start with one, and that one brings an awareness of how you are a victim of all the 5 senses, and you and you withdraw from that. For every sense perception needs all the participation of the senses. When you are hungry, what matters is the food, that's all. But it's not just food. First it has to look good, correct? Food has to look good. Now what difference does it make how it looks? For eyes are not eating it? No, the eyes are also eating. So it has to look good, and then it has to smell good. Aroma, aroma. It has, because the nose is also eating. Even though we say it is only food, it caters to all the senses. The ambience must be, environment must be good. Catering to what? Catering to the skin, the touch. You follow what I am saying? Finally it enters the tongue. What is withdrawal? What is withdrawal here? Withdrawal doesn't mean sitting in dirty place and eating. Withdrawal doesn't mean eating burnt food, bad food. It's not that. What is withdrawal? What is withdrawal? Eating is related only to the tongue, and all the other four senses shut up. That is withdrawal. Eating is for the tongue. All other four senses shut up. For this is not your. For this is not. You follow what I am saying? That's knowledge. Like the Kurma, that's what he does. Kurma, now how he lives life is like this. Opposite of that is, more senses are catered, much better is that experience. Or in fact, we believe like that. When you are eating, why background music has to go on? All that you need is what you need? For eating, the only condition is hunger is the only condition for eating. So you will, till you get hungry, don't eat, or eat in such a disciplined way that you will get hungry at the regular intervals. You are practicing withdrawal. You are practicing withdrawal. You follow what I am saying? That's why Maunam also we practice. We don't practice, I am just saying we are supposed to practice. The tendency is, as soon as the eyes open, mouth also opens. Talking. Practice silence. When you are practicing silence, the urge to express through other means comes. You become alert. Otherwise, you think all senses are under perfect control. And sense control la namakku vana sir. Koyandhengalukku dhaan adella. You follow what I am saying? When you say stop talking, then you understand the urge to express through other means. That's why they say kashta maunam. Sit like a piece of wood. Sit like a piece of wood. Don't try all that. Tomorrow, kadamari ketu utrungo adella. Listen to it like a story and forget it. So if you practice anything, it is your risk. Don't come and say I practiced it and snake bite and I am in ICU. We are not. Okay, try it out. You tell yourself that I will not move and sit for 10 minutes. Second minute you will feel an ant crawling. No ant is crawling anywhere. Ant crawling. Suddenly you feel like nose. See, normally you will never, under normal circumstance you will never keep poking your eye. It's such an ugly thing. No, you will not do it. But when you say I will not move, it means what? You give a command to the senses and the senses obey that command. What is withdrawal? What is the definition of withdrawal? A command is given to the senses and the senses obey that. That's why we are very comfortable with machines, because you give a command, it obeys. What is withdrawal means? A command is given and the senses, for it doesn't function all by itself. Lack of withdrawal means it functions all by itself. You say don't sleep, it falls off to sleep. It says sleep, you say sleep, it's wide awake. You say don't feel hungry now, it will feel hungry. You say feel hungry now, it means a force is there in you which doesn't listen to you. That's lack of control. That's lack of. Okay? So you start with one, in that one an awareness of how you are dependent on all the five senses. Animals don't have this problem because they function only with one sense at any point of time. That's the example, Shankaracharya's example. Every animal has a weakness for one sense, and a human being has weakness for all the five senses. Animals function according to only one sense. Number two, acquisition doesn't happen in them. Lion kills once in 7 days. It doesn't kill morning, noon and night. Rest of the time it's lying down and the deers will be grazing 2 feet away from the lion. No lion can ever think, what? When I am hungry, pretend as though I am sleeping, and when it comes closer, quickly catch it. No lion can. You follow what I am saying? When it is hungry, that sense takes over, it will go after it. Follow? Human beings, one may smile and it be a villain. Is possible only in for human being functions with something different, more dangerous. What is that? The Sanskrit word for human being is Manushya. Manushya comes from the root Manas. The species that lives with a mind is human. Definitionally, they made it very clear what kind of species they are. You say that species that lives with the mind, meaning intellect is there as a potential. Effort has to be done to strengthen it, kindle it. Okay? Bharat, Sriya? Yes.
You had mentioned that the person with the charitable attitude
Yes.
will stop acquiring.
Correct.
What I want to find out is, because with respect to the material aspect, but
Yes.
with respect to anything like
Yes.
whether I want to do whatever,
Yes.
I need to have it to be good.
Correct.
If I don't have it, I have to acquire it.
Correct.
But when I acquire it, then you're saying the stage will come when I will stop acquiring.
Correct.
So, not that I don't acquire it. Wrong.
At any point of time, for a man who is, for a person who has, giving is a discipline for a person who has, giving is a discipline for a person who has One word. Taken. There is one word for that. Gratitude. Giving is a discipline for a person who has underlined. Ore vaadampa. Ganesh, ore vaartha. You ask him a question, he will give one lengthy discourse for 10 minutes. Who has wealth? Who has abundance? You should say it in a word where it should pinch you. You should realize that. Andamari words use pannu. You should not use a word that will. You will never use the word. You should not use words that will kinds of aversita. There is one word. Giving is a discipline for a person who has hoarded. Abundance is nothing but hoarding. Hoarding, correct? Giving is a discipline for whom? For a person who is hoarding, accumulating, not sharing at all. So giving is a discipline for that person. Are you able to follow? For a person who doesn't have the spirit of hoarding, who has not hoarded, what is he giving? For him, giving is not. For him, giving is not. For him, giving is. For him, giving is different. What he gives. What he gives. Just the presence, that's all. Just his presence itself is giving. He need not do anything. Just his presence. You follow what I am saying? Now, what does the human being hoard? What does the human being have in abundance? Ego, correct. Ego, correct. That's all. Nothing else except ego. So what do you give up as a discipline? For a person who has hoarded ego, what he gives up? He gives up the ego. The man who has become completely egoless. For a man who has given up the ego. A Shankaracharya, a Jesus Christ, a Socrates, an Upanishadic seer who has given up their ego is giving even today. What are they giving? Just their name, just their presence itself is enough. You follow what I am saying? The king also gave charity, but it went away. Third day the man came back to square one. You give emotion, 3 days he is happy, fourth day back to. So all other giving vanishes, disappears. The man who has rid of the ego, a Socrates is inspiring even today. A Shankaracharya is inspiring even today. A Ramakrishna Paramahansa, even though he was an illiterate person, he is inspiring even today. So what they also give, but what do they give? Their presence. Their presence, their name, their thought, their association, everything invokes divinity. They also give. But what do they give? In a way. In a way they are giving. For divinity is inspiring because of this. Because of these men only it is inspired. For we do not know how to contact it directly. By ourselves we do not know how to contact. But the divinity itself is becoming meaningful only because of this. So, living centuries apart, living yugas apart, they are still giving. You follow what I am saying? So, that giving is different. Giving as a discipline, giving is a discipline for one who has, for the one who has accumulated, for the one who is into the habit of hoarding. You can't go on accumulating hoarding on one side and talk about charitable attitude on the other side. Both doesn't go together. You follow what I am saying? That's why I gave this as an example. You give, you don't give, that is your individual freedom. You give, you don't give, that is your individual choice. Knowledge is not saying give. It's not begging. Follow what it only says. The person who is a person with charitable attitude will automatically give. The quality of giving is different. What he gives is something entirely, you follow? What he gives, the existence. That's all. Need not be even now. The man who lived in like the Upanishadic masters, even today they are giving. You are right. Abundance. Divinity is that abundance. Correct. They are the only one who can actually give. For they are the source of abundance. What is abundance? Divinity is that. For everything else is limited by nature. But the conviction is so much on the limitation that acquisition goes only to the limited. How much ever you hear it as limited, how much ever you hear it as impermanent, how much ever you hear it as changing, Yama will come and take over. From Paklan, sir. But right now we will preparing for acquisition, act of acquisition, preserving what you have acquired. Ellame challenge. All this is what? With the hope that one day you will get, and that one day never comes. Useless telling people enjoy what you are doing. How can they enjoy? The advice is you should enjoy whatever you are doing, you should enjoy. How can you enjoy? For enjoyment lies in the garb of renunciation, giving up. You can't train a person to acquire. You can't train a person to acquire and tell that person enjoy also. It's not possible. All that we do is, on the one hand we promote acquisition, training to acquire, on the other hand telling them enjoy what you are doing. You should enjoy studying. Now how can the child enjoy studying? You should enjoy your work in the office. Now how can you? It's exactly the same advice, telling the child enjoy studying. No child can enjoy. It's not enjoying. It is enjoyable only because of the other things. Yeah. The fun with the friends is more. You follow what I am saying? It's like telling that man enjoy your work. How can he enjoy that work? He cannot. You follow? Is it okay? Huh? As a point for reflection, always use words that are direct, precise. Don't use words that has a coating of goodness, a coloring of morality and ethics and all. Don't use. Use words that are precise, direct. When it is precise, direct, it will be hurtful. When it is precise, when it is direct, it will be hurtful. Doesn't matter. Go through it for a while. A tip for reflection. When you are using words, use words that are direct, precise, or avoid using words that has There are quotings. Don't use such words. For it will color your thinking. Reflection will be colored. Use precise words. Hoarding is instead of using the word growth, use the word acquisition. It becomes clear. That's why Shastras use words that are so direct, so precise, wakes you up kind of. But we will use words that's more like a lullaby, that will put us off to put us off to sleep. The words that we use should not put the thinking to sleep. That's all. Use words in a way that your thinking is alert and awakened. Don't use words that will put you off, that will put the thinking to sleep. Idella tips for Sariya? கொஞ்சம் வெந்நீர் கொஞ்சம் சுடு தண்ணி ஆட் இது